Hi Dylan, how was your first day back in class? It was good. What grade you in again? Kinder? What'd you do in class? We watched the Magic School Bus. Oh really? What's that about? A school bus and it's magic and every time Miss Frizzle always says seatbelt everyone and we all get to sing the song. Miss Frizzle sounds like a very caring lady. When I was in elementary school, the show that always got me through any and all of my lessons was the Magic School Bus. To break down a typical episode, the teacher, Miss Frizzle, would announce that the class was going on a field trip in her magic school bus that could shrink down, fly to Pluto, and even turn into a submarine. Importantly, though, at the beginning of every episode, I would hear a distinct meep meep, seatbelts everyone. Oh, I loved hearing that phrase, seatbelts everyone, because I knew it was going to be a fun day in class. Here's the thing, though. I only remember that phrase because I recently rewatched the show with my little cousin. That got me thinking, if I can forget the phrase seatbelts everyone after a couple of years not watching the show, how much less do we as people really know about bus safety? Sure, we teach children at a young age, don't touch that, don't do that. At that young age, we learn what's off limits and place it in the danger zone. But as we get older, we don't really pay attention to or even remember the danger zone rules. Why? After all, an 18-year-old standing up in a seat while the bus is moving is just as dangerous as an 8-year-old doing the same. Let's take into account the gravity of the situation. According to Edgar Snyder and Associates law firm, about 17,000 children visit the emergency room annually due to school bus related accidents. From that startling fact, we realize that we need to remind each other of what is or is not in the danger zone when it comes to bus safety. Importantly, the best way to communicate this message is to first teach how to avoid the most dangerous part of the bus, and secondly, to teach passengers how to behave on the bus. So Dylan, do you know a lot about buses? Yeah, I know all kinds of stuff. Oh really? Can you tell me where you should never be when you're around the bus? My teacher makes us stand on the wall until the door opens? That's right! And now it's time to teach everyone why that's so important. Let's learn about the most dangerous part of the bus. The literal danger zone is outside the bus. Believe it or not, the safest place to be when in an accident involving a school bus is on the bus. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists make up 93% of all fatalities in bus-related accidents each year. Now let's apply a little Miss Frizzle and do our own experiment. Obviously, everyone who knows how to operate a vehicle knows what a blind spot is on a car. And even more obvious, a car is much smaller than a bus. So knowing all this is true, it's quite easy to determine that a bus's blind spot is a lot more dangerous than a car's. So just to get a little bit more perspective, go ahead and look directly at me. Now try to look at your own chin. Quite simply, with the naked eye, you can't do it because it's outside of your field of vision. Alright, so now that we have some perspective on how dangerous a blind spot can be, how do we avoid it? Well, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in order to stay away from the danger zone of a bus, one has to basically remain 10 feet away from all sides of the bus in order to ensure that the bus driver can see him or her. Alright, so now we're familiar with the most dangerous areas around the bus. Dylan, do you know what you can do to keep everyone on the bus safe? Now what? Be nice and be quiet. Let's talk about that. The next area of analysis shows us that the next best way to keep everybody on the bus safe is to educate people, of all ages, how to behave on the bus. So let's go. Quite simply, educating kids on how to behave on the bus boils down to two main ideas. First, they cannot touch anything that they're not supposed to. Secondly, they cannot touch anyone. So first, anything that's labeled emergency equipment is off limits. Leave all of that to the adults. If anybody gets confused, it's easy to stick to this rule. Unless the driver grants permission, the only thing a rider should be touching is the seat, and keep their hands to themselves. Now, not touching each other is crucial so the driver is not distracted, especially when it comes to bullying. In fact, according to the National Education Association, 54% of drivers reported witnessing bullying several times a month. That's a lot of opportunity for a distracted bus driver. In such incidents that involve touching, not allowing students to do so may reduce driver distraction as well as physical bullying. Dylan, is this the bus you normally ride? Yeah, bus 7. Do you think you learned a lot today? Yup. What did we learn? It is important to know that we are safer inside the bus than outside where blind spots can become danger zones. But students on the bus must also behave so it stays a safe zone. My young cousin and I, who recently buckled our imaginary seatbelts like Miss Frizzle, like if we were on Miss Frizzle's school bus, are more than TV viewers. We are actual bus riders. Our safety, the safety of our peers, and that of the driver matter, so we can stay out of the danger zone.